Hello everyone, Gosha here. Today I'm talking about a safety trap in the lives of highly empathic, highly sensitive people, maybe like yourself. And if you are feeling often overwhelmed, feeling bogged down by anxiety, maybe being overstimulated, and all the time trying to seek a solution so that you don't feel all these ways by the external environment, by the people around you, this entire episode is for you. I will talk about the trap of seeking safety in the lives of highly sensitive people, empaths, and especially people like INFJs. I am INFJ, so it's easy for me to talk about from this perspective. And I've worked with many highly sensitive people, and I know how they react to this aspect of their personality, that hypervigilance, that makes them seek safety. So I just hinted that this video is all about seeking a sense of safety, seeking a sense of security in response to overwhelm. We all know that highly sensitive people are easily overstimulated, that may be easily overwhelmed by things in their external environment, perhaps the physical environment, such as their workplace. And it can be a perfectly typical workplace, but maybe the harsh light is overwhelming for them. Maybe it's the background noise, like people on the phones or someone playing music, or people constantly having meetings in the office. It can be things like family gatherings, even if it's a small family gathering where all of a sudden you feel like you just want to run away, you just want to hide yourself under the bed, just disappear from the room where even maybe like 5 or 10 people are at the same time. They're talking, they're laughing, and maybe you just can't stand this stimulation. Or it could be any other situations, like going into a supermarket with all the people there, with the cash register beeping and all the, megaphones giving the, advertisement from the speakers and all that stuff. It could be any sort of situation that gives you that overwhelm. Another scenario is generally people wanting a lot of things from you. So like the demands from your friends or family or your romantic partner or your kids, it could be extremely overwhelming. And few people know why all these things are happening. For those of you that are open to this notion, I always talk about the mind, body, and spirit connection, because we are all physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual beings. And I can't go through a video without talking about energy, because it's a part of our being. It's also explained by contemporary science that we are made out of energy and respond accordingly. The energy fields of highly sensitive people are extremely open. So they absorb so much from their environment of the things that they don't want to absorb. They are just so hyper vigilant to assure a sense of safety that at the same time is opening them up to this overstimulation. So it's basically a double-edged sword that they're using unconsciously, of course, because this is how we are by default set up from very early in childhood. When we open up to environment to make sure that we are prepared to sense what everyone is doing, what they're feeling like, what is the relationship to us, and all these kind of things kind of help us in early childhood to find a sense of safety by knowing what people want and behaving in the way so that is maybe a little bit more pleasing to them, a little bit more convenient for other people. And believe it or not, tiny babies change their behavior already, as in to work for adults. Now, we're not going to make any more out of this horrific idea that children have to do so much work and they don't feel safety just by default because of the havoc of environment. Maybe people in their family are emotionally imbalanced, maybe there is some drug or alcohol abuse, maybe there are other problems that make this child super hyper vigilant. And we develop all these kind of coping mechanisms, such as seeking safety and escaping most of all. When I started saying about our open energy field, I really mean it. Children early in childhood start escaping their body because it feels too uncomfortable to be with all the sensations. And as most highly sensitive people know, they escape where? They escape to their mind, out of their mind, so completely disassociate, or they escape into their imagination. Now also for the last decade or so, it's been popular to escape into spirituality. So we have another outlet to escape to, right? And I talked about spiritual bypassing in a couple of videos, so you can go back to them. But I want to talk about that seeking safety trap that extends to all other behaviors. If you, for example, feel like you struggle with physical reality, like maybe you can't catch a break in your work, you always feel like a failure because no matter what you want to do, you always feel like you're behind, or you feel like no matter what you do is not enough for other people, and all these kind of things is also part of the reason that maybe you are detached from your body. If that is the case, which it usually is for highly sensitive people and virtually all highly sensitive people that I work with, it actually is part of the trait. Basically, they are disconnected from the power in the body and disconnected from ability to feel all range of sensations, including the uncomfortable ones that we were escaping as children away from, and we created this sort of habit for many, many years or decades of our life. And until you break that pattern, like through active embodiment and active work on connecting the mind and the body, this would continue for the lifetime, aggravating the sensitivity, pushing you farther up, pushing you maybe farther to dissociate and collapsing and creating even more sensitivities over time. Now, I talk about it as a trap because if you can't tolerate pain and can't tolerate discomfort in your body, and using escapism of all different forms, such as avoidance, imagination, escaping into creativity or spirituality, or simply coming up with all kinds of ideas like that are perfectly now aligned with like modern spirituality, that we shouldn't care about physical reality or physical success because it's not so honorable, it's not spiritual to have a lot of money, or it's not spiritual to follow your goals. We create this cognitive dissonance just to explain the fact that we are happening to not have ability to get this earthly success or deal with these earthly corporal situations, such as facing people and setting boundaries. And we explain it to ourselves that we just have to be a little bit less judgmental of them. Maybe we have to practice non-duality and merging even more with them, which is pushing us further into that imbalance. We're already so merged with other people. We're already absorbing everyone's energy. We're already taking in all that stimulation and already being open to all these things that we don't want to be really open to, but it feels like a safe thing to do, to be constantly in control of the situation as we know what everything is happening. So this is a trap, not being able to feel what's going on in your body, but prioritizing unconsciously, of course, what's going on in the environment. This is going to be a trap because not only it is really hard to go after the goals that you have, like following the path of success, whatever it might look like for you. It could be making more money. It could be creating a business that will allow maybe your art to be sold to a lot of people, or your healing to help a lot of people. But following a path of success requires a lot of pain, requires a little bit of pushing ourselves behind the comfort zone, pushing ourselves outside of the familiar, comfortable, and all the fluffy feelings that we want to remain in. And if something becomes too uncomfortable, or we start fearing rejection or things like that, then maybe you would withdraw back into yourself and just use the excuse that, oh, maybe it's for other people, sensitive or spiritual people don't have to do it. It's not spiritual enough, or something like that. So this is one aspect. And the other aspect of this trap that we further fall into, if we continue going down that path, is that we become more and more helpless feeling overwhelmed by the situations, and having to withdraw more and more and more over time. Highly sensitive people, INFJ, INFPs, are super sensitive to all kinds of things that are going all around them. So they might want to help everyone that they are finding that they need their help. They might find that they are distressed by the news, or the social media post about another war update or something like that. And these things are constantly consuming their mind energy, consuming their mental work, and exhausting all that energy that could be given to their life and dealing with the situation at hand. When we're detached from our bodies, we really don't have access to that power, to that strength and confidence that supports us when we stand grounded. And as we are grounded in this energy and supported by the earth, we are finding that sense of comfort that we've been seeking by tuning in everyone and everything else on the outside that by no means was giving us that support. It was just an illusion of trying to get a control of the environment, but what it was doing in turn, it was overwhelming us. When we become grounded, when we become embodied in our body, mind-body connected, we finally feel that unconditional source of security and safety, allowing us to feel confident, allowing us to go for things, allowing us to be with various difficult emotions and sensations that maybe help us in challenging moments, like pursuing our goals or dealing with other people, setting those boundaries, going out into this world and just doing the things we want and need to do because they're integral to our well-being. If we can't find that mind-body connection, we will constantly be scattered and overwhelmed. But when we do, we can finally source that energy that will allow us to differentiate us from other people and know, okay, this is mine. This pain is mine to take care of. Now I have to deal with this. And I can't give away my energy to all the people that need my help right now. There will always be more people that could use support, right? But you being exhausted, being spread thin like paper is not going to help anyone, neither you nor them. And the habits of pleasing, overgiving, and maybe exhausting yourself, even on thinking what you have to do, not even doing this, takes away so much energy out of you that you could spend on creating your life and nourishing yourself, so that finally you can give to others completely from an open heart, from your big and overflowing energy, and remain as generous as you want to be. So prioritizing yourself embodiment and connecting that mind and body really gets us deeper into connecting with that inner wisdom that guides us through our life and allows us to make the conscious decisions rather than by what everyone needs from us, what they might want, what might satisfy, what might dissatisfy them. So if you are interested in diving deeper into this subject, I talk a lot about resolving this kind of stress, increasing boundary, and enhancing the sense of calm and confidence in my free guide. It's a completely free ebook that you can download if you subscribe to my email, and the link is in the description of this episode. If you like this video, follow and subscribe and like what I'm sharing, because it helps me grow this channel and it helps me reach more people with messages like this one. For highly sensitive people, there is only one path, and this is not the path up, but the path inwards that allows us to collect our energies. And if we choose to serve, we would serve from that overflow that we build when we are completely resourced.